this was just a straight up kidnapping of a woman who had 100% of her rights as a free adult and whose only problem was that she couldn't remember what happened the day before, which, as I've repeated, is not a condition that puts you in danger. So, but this is the precipitous nature of the police action. We don't know exactly what my brother told them because it's not in documents, but we do know one thing. On the police body camera footage, he told a Deputy Wakefield that I might murder my mother within seconds if they did not get her out of the house. So it's curious that I was living with my mother for 2.5 years, but now I might murder my mother within seconds and they have to get her out of the house. This is after I had been with my mother alone in the house for 3 days after Chris Mariho and his son left the house. However, I want to point out that even the police didn't believe this. Deputy Wakefield said, okay, why do you think this? And Christopher's response, we have it on the police body camera footage, he was on the phone. His response was, because when Jonathan was living with my mother, he did not clean the house. You can watch it on the website, inafarleytaken.com, the 4th video, first 10 minutes.
That is not an excuse.
So how can we save other people from this? Well, now you know that there's this playbook. Some people call it the Brooklyn playbook for real estate fraud, but there's this playbook where you isolate the victim, defame all protectors, which is what this was, and then loot the estate. My mother's estate has now been said to be in debt. So it goes from perhaps having millions of dollars to being in debt in the 18-month period from the time she was kidnapped to the time that she died. So no one asked the question, where did that money go? You might think it went to lawyers, but no, the judge in the case said that my mother's money should not be used to pay lawyers, not Chris's lawyers at least, and not my lawyers. You might think, well, but what about the facility? No, because my mother had MetLife long-term healthcare insurance, and she always told me that that would pay for everything if she ever needed it. So where did the money go? And that's a question that only I ask and my father's cousin, Dr. Jane Farley. She said, where's the money? But the judge does not say. In fact, Christopher Chacho fined me $13,000 in part because one of my attorneys wanted to get my mother's bank records, which I now know we were legally entitled to see. But the judge instead fined me $13,000 and fined my attorney $10,000. Something corrupt is going on. And the reason why so many people are caught in this guardianship abuse trap is that it is just this great gift to judges, to court officers. They know they can just take the money from the estate of the person who's been locked up, and then they just take it, and then once all the money is gone, coincidentally, the person dies. Just a pure coincidence. Person typically dies.